Peace, everyone. Just had this thought. Just been watching these two geezers. The two Jamaican guys having this chat about Garnet Silk. Looks like they're in some sort of radio show or podcast or whatever. And they're talking about Garnet Silk and his influence that he had and the influence on the youth in Jamaica. And philosophizing on what more of an influence he would have had if he hadn't passed away so early regarding Rastafari and people twisting their hair to have dreadlocks and all the rest of it. And while he was talking, this guy was like, mentioned the fact that, he's passed away. And the other guy was like, well, okay, he's passed away, but he's more at rest. He's just sleeping, No, he hasn't really died. No one really dies. He's just sleeping type thing. You hear these conversations all the time, don't you? We say it all the time ourselves. It's like, we're not really dead. We're just sleeping. Stuff like that. But this particular time, it's kind of like stuck out to me. It's like, just sleeping. And I was like, how real is that? Just sleeping. How real is it, really? Death, sleep. I haven't really held it around and kind of had a good look at it. It's something that I don't really generally want to dwell on. Try to understand, but it's that eternity aspect of it, that great unknown, which kind of stops me every time I want to properly try and analyze it, type thing, if we can. But I thought about it. It got me today. Because I was thinking about I was watching my mum last night. My mum's on a deathbed. I was watching her. How she was kind of alert, eyes were open. And then she'd just drift off from time to time. After half an hour or whatever, she'd come back into consciousness. Because it's this conversation that triggered me. These guys talking about Garnet. And I've just got up. I'm thinking to myself, where did my mum go? Where did I go? Then I'm coming back into consciousness. It's like, where did we go? And then when you close your eyes for the last time and you don't come back, it's like, okay, where's that place where you go then? Because the only thing that's stopping you from coming back from wherever it is that you did go is your body, having a functioning body to come back here to the surface. So obviously, we must dive somewhere, go deep into the circle somewhere to come back to the surface. And this is our spacesuit. You know, we've got a hard hat, helmet, and we've got a suit. But let's just partake in this world of forms, innit? You know, because this ain't actually us, is it? You know, all of this, it's not actually us. This is what enables us to take part in whatever this is. So where do we go? And for that last time, never to come back. So where have I been all night? Do you know what I mean? It's got me thinking. Where did my mum go? Where did we all go? In the Quran it says that sleep's the cousin of death, doesn't it? They're closely related. I tried it one time years ago. I was meditating on the breath. Because I thought to myself, there must be a way of staying conscious beyond the body, shutting down for sleep. Because we're not the body. So how come when the body goes to sleep, we're like forced to go to sleep? That's what I didn't understand. So I was, concentrating on the breath. I was lying down, by the way, concentrating on the breath. Thoughts were drifting off to other topics, guiding my concentration back on the breath. And the long and short of it was, when the body goes to sleep, it sends a chemical throughout the body, which basically paralyzes the body. So I witnessed this. So now all of a sudden I can't move. So I'm like, okay, now we're getting somewhere. Because normally you pass out before the paralysis happens. So I'm like, okay, so I'm still here. So I've still got control of my eyes, but my limbs, they're completely dead. So I'm like, okay, cool, alright. So I open my eyes, I'm looking around. And then all of a sudden now, I'm hearing this banging sound. Like someone's got a wooden spoon and banging a frying pan. It's like bang, 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 bang. It's getting really loud. But it's got a rhythm to it. It's like bang, 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 bang. I was like, okay, this is odd. Got a little bit unnerving, to be quite honest. I'm like, okay, cool. Alright, it's getting a bit weird now. Because bearing in mind, this is all uncharted territory. I'm normally passed out, unconscious. It's like bang, 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 bang. It's like, okay, hold your nerve. The next minute now, this strange melody starts to come out of nowhere. It's not made by instruments. It's no like any sound that I recognise what's making it, but it's a melody nonetheless. It's a very strange melody, but very soothing also. And it's like, I'm not unnerved by it. It's not that type of melody, like in horror movies where the melody starts to get a bit ominous. It's nothing like that. I'm just intrigued at this point. I'm like, okay, this is very, very different. My ears haven't heard this type of sound before. So I'm listening. But by this time, this like clanging noise, it's kind of dimmed a bit, and this melody's like started to take over prominence. So this is going on. I'm like, okay, cool. So my eyes are still open. The lights are off, but I'm looking around the bedroom. The curtains are slightly open, so I'm getting light from outside, from the lamp posts, without a light outside. So I can still see. But I notice there was a subtle it was like someone pulled a shutter over reality. It was like a thin veil that went over everything. Everything was the same, but it was slightly different. It was very, very subtle. I was like, oh, this is weird. Now that got me a little bit unnerved, because I thought to myself, right, I've obviously now encountered another dimension to reality. It's the same thing, but it's not at the same time. And I was like, it's like got the thought processes going. All the fear now starts to creep in. It's like, I'm definitely going to start seeing some strange stuff now. And I'm just thinking to myself, am I ready for this? But I thought, it's like, come on, get a grip. It's just your mind, trying to talk you out of it. Trying to like make you afraid for no reason. So I'm trying to keep this up now. I'm trying to hold my nerve. So the melody stops. I'm still looking around. Kind of like a little nervous at this point. And then another melody starts. But this one's a little bit more intense. And it's got a more what word can I use? Okay, let's go back to that word that I used earlier, ominous kind of sound to it. It's kind of like a little bit darker type thing. And I was like, ooh, all right. Not liking this. Not liking this at all. Yeah, I thought, okay, this ain't gonna end well. I'm not prepared for what happens next because it didn't feel good. Now, it could be completely neutral. Nothing could have happened. You know what I mean? It's probably more so me. Because it's like I say, it's uncharted territory. I don't know what the hell was going on. But yeah, that was like my cue to come back up to the surface. I was like, you know what? Nah. Because the whole atmosphere changed. I was like, nah, let's pull the plug on this one. So I was like, okay, that's the first night of experimentation done. But like I was completely wide awake, completely conscious. It was just a body that was asleep. So here's me now, trying to snap out of it. Body was going nowhere. Couldn't move a muscle. Couldn't even move my jaw. the only thing that could move was my eyelids. And I don't know now if it was because I was starting to panic or not. I felt my eyelids, I was losing control of the functioning of my eyelids. Basically, I was struggling to close them because I wanted to close them because I was completely conscious. And so I didn't want to like see what was around me because I didn't know what the hell was going to happen or what I was about to see, because I knew something was going to happen. I was going to see something. I knew I was. I just had that feeling. So it took all of my willpower to start to gain function to my eyes, my jaw, and I was like this. Eventually, I started to move my fingers, started to gain control of my limbs and all that. Like snapped out of it, but it took a load of energy. And I sat up and I was like, wow. wow. So I know that the body's not us, man. The body's not us. We're separate. We're very separate from the body. It's our body that falls asleep. So it's like, if our body's falling asleep, why do we fall asleep with it? So I don't understand. Why isn't it natural just to keep going and just let the body fall asleep? Why does it take practice to separate? That's what I'm trying to get at. Yeah, weird one. Weird. I'm going to try a few more experiments. I'm going to start experimenting. Because all this death, all this illness, it's just making mortality more real, more prevalent. All this anguish and emotion and tears for loved ones, which is natural. But we're all going to be a memory one day anyway. We're all following. We're not far behind. So I want to understand it more. Once you start to focus on your breath and your consciousness starts to become more freer from the body through repeated exercise, it's kind of like it's kind of like a mission to actually fall back into normal sleep. Because when you close your eyes, you're kind of like really wide awake within your sleep, as it were. And you have to force yourself into normal sleep mode to actually go into unconsciousness, or else you're fully conscious. But the fully consciousness is more satisfying than a normal sleep. You know what I mean? It gives you more satisfaction, more rest, as it were. So it's something that I've got to conquer. Because they say all of these wise men and sages of the East, they never sleep. The body sleeps, but they don't sleep. They're conscious 24 hours, but they're more at rest and more at peace. And when their body goes to sleep, they're more satisfied with rest because of their consciousness. And where the consciousness goes to gain back its energy, to put back into the body for the day ahead. There's definitely something to it, because I've experienced it. Before the Buddha, the say, before he died, he went back to the center of the circle, consciously, because he recognized there's no death. The body dies. The body's temporal. It changes form, goes back into the elements which build it, to be recycled. And see, there again, even in the physical realm that we call death is just, dissolution of form. Just breaks down, that's it, to elements to be rebuilt again into myriad, compounds and whatever. So even that itself is not death, never dies. It's always been here. But yeah, all of these events in life, they make you think. They force you, they force you to analyze some aspects of life that you don't normally want to touch. Keep on forcing me into a room of reflection, chamber of reflection. On a daily basis now. Can't even lie to you. I contemplate death every day. Some people would say that's morbid. Is it? Life is death, though. Death is life. It's just that we focus more on the polarity of what we call life and shun the death part. But are they really reversed? Is death life and life death? Are we looking at it all wrong? Because the minute you're so-called born, you're dying. Even in life, so-called life, you're not fully alive, are you? You're half dead, as it is. Because you've got memory. You look back into the past, it's been and gone. You've died already. Every step you take is a step of death because you're leaving life behind. You've already lived. So that's death. You're a cloak of death is trailing behind you as we speak. This recording here that you're looking at, which I've put up on YouTube or whatever it is I've put it up, is my death. Because it's already happened. This is the past that you're looking at. I'm not here now. By the time you're watching this. So death, life, life, death. You see, we don't get chance to think or contemplate stuff in this modern world. We're always kept busy. And before you know it, it's all past and gone. And it's too late. We never think about anything. TV, Netflix, games, movies, work, worry. Never time to just analyse, have a look around, or have a look around inside. We're always stuck outside at the surface. Yeah. So that's what caught me today. Just stopped me. Sleep. The cousin of death.